What up, everybody? Gosh dang, man. I was out here messing up. Couldn't hit the intro, so let me get you guys with the salute. I was trying to use my new stream deck and freaking couldn't link the mute. Whatever, it is what it is. Wouldn't be an episode of Let's Talk Dynasty if we didn't have technical difficulties every goddamn episode. But it is what it is, guys. I said I was upgrading the set. Got some new lights coming in today. Spent some money on some new lights, so hopefully this bookshelf will be lit up behind me. I'll have a little bit better lighting in here. But all in all, everything is back to usual. I see we got Caleb in here. He says lock in. Guys, today we're going to be doing a Dynasty Trade Show, episode 17. Very, very unprofessional, very rocky intro. Let me just pull in my co-host so he can save me from drowning right now. Let's get him in here. MFGDs, man. What up, man? That was a disaster.
I don't know if I'm the one you want trying to save you. Because I might be the possible savior in this case.
That was bad. That was bad. I'm just sitting here trying to do everything last minute. I walked in the door. I was in New York City all weekend watching the combine at the BDGE office, doing videos for them. Came in last minute, unprepared. It's whatever. We're still going to get an episode in here today.
Hey, man, you know what, man? If it's anybody that understands, it's me.
Hey, man, I knew it. But look, it is our 17th trade review episode. We're trying to make these something that we're doing a lot more often. In fact, you said it's one of your favorite topics. One of your favorite videos that we make is the trade reviews. So if you guys are just tuning into this channel for the first time, all of these trades are submitted in our Discord. If you look in the comments of the YouTube video, I did let you guys know the Discord link to submit the trades for future shows. It's going to be in the video description. So make sure you go into that video description. That way on future episodes, you can submit your trades. We can get those reviewed for you in the next episode. But without wasting time more, why don't we just pull this up here? We do have trades from the Discord ready to roll. I'll pull them all up here, man. We got, let's see, everything in here, man. So let's start it off. We have a trade that came in from, starting right here, Matt66FF. Shout out, Matt. But we got a 10-team Superflex half PPR start 9. Says he got Allen. Other guy finished with 104, little depth. Still have Garrett Wilson and Olave as his wide receivers. Has some draft capital. Has a few more moves to make. So here's the trade here. Matt gets Josh Allen, Greg Dulcich, and the 104 for Evan Engram, Brandon Aiyuk, the 209, the 103, and I think the 102. So initial gut reaction here, War. To me, the best asset in this trade is Josh Allen, right?
Yep.
So one thing that I think, would you give, just for Josh Allen straight up, would you give the 102 and the 103 for Josh Allen in a super flex?
Yeah, especially if you're getting a 104 in return as well.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, because I was like, I'd give the 102, the 103. I get Josh Allen. They probably cancel each other out. Brandon Aiyuk in the 104. Do you prefer the 104 over Brandon Aiyuk right now?
Yes.
I think so too in super flex.
Luckily, yes.
And then that leaves you with the 209 and Evan Engram for Greg Dulcich.
Which did, isolated, yeah, that's a bad trade, but I mean, you're getting Josh Allen in the top pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way we said it, right? Josh Allen, the 102, the 103. You're preferring Josh Allen there. When it comes to Brandon Aiyuk and the 104, you prefer the 104 there. Yeah, you got to give up and lose a little bit somewhere else, and that's probably in your Evan Engram to Greg Dulcich downgrade. But I'd much rather downgrade my Evan Engram to Greg Dulcich if that means I'm upgrading to Josh Allen at the quarterback position. So, all in all, I'm taking Matt's side here. Matt 6'6".
That kind of was a no-brainer to me. Do you think that was a no-brainer? You think that actually required some intricate thoughts on the process?
No, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. When we think of Josh Allen in a dynasty fantasy football startup, he might be going 101 in startups altogether. So if that's the case, and you're giving up 2 rookies and Brandon Aiyuk and some change for the 101 in startup drafts plus the 104.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm just going to take Josh Allen. It's a good deal for Matt.
Yep.
But all right, moving on, man. We got Goat Rings. He's going to be in here a lot today. And you see in all caps right here, he says, "Are you not entertained?" So here's what we got. 10-team full PPR super flex start 11. This is the deal. He gets Christian Watson, Bryce Young, a 25 first, the 104, and the 106. He gives up Cortland Sutton, Kenneth Walker, the 108, the 101, and the 301. So let's just step back before we really get all in here. That 101 is the most valuable asset in the deal, and that's what he was giving up, right? So
yes.
would you give up the 104 and the 106 for the 101, or would you rather have the 101?
I'll give up the 104 and the 106 for the 101. It's a tough question.
I think you prefer the 101.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The top 7 in this upcoming draft is some studs there, man. Some real studs there. And I mean, you got a chance to get 2 of them just with the 104 and the 106.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, man. That's a good one. I mean, I think if we took away everything else, but you also got to think about the 108 too, man. So,
yep. I think the way that I look at it, when I look at this trade and I want to start dissecting this deal, the best thing that we can do, and this is something that we've been doing on the trade shows at BDGE, and I think this is the standard that you should be doing with trades. You should try and cancel each other out. When I look at these assets, to me, it's can we agree that Kenneth Walker and Christian Watson are probably valued similarly enough in Dynasty that we can just take them both out the deal? That's fair.
Yes.
Okay, so we take them out. How do we feel about the 108 and Bryce Young? Do you think Bryce Young is worth the 108, or do you think that 108 is a little bit? Is it worth more?
108 is worth more.
Okay, so is there anything from that? What if we did the 25 first and Bryce Young for Cortland Sutton in the 108? Does that even each other out? Does that take it out?
Yeah. I think that makes a little more sense.
So really what that leaves you with is the 101 for the 104, the 106, and the 301. So that's just where you get to the point of like where you think that's worth it. To me, I think it's probably close enough in value, even enough in value that it's fine. But I think I prefer the side that has the 101 and the 108. I think that's just where I prefer to lay here in this draft. You still get Kenneth Walker at the 108. Like we're talking about guys like JJ McCarthy, Brian Thomas Jr., who had an amazing combine, Adonai Mitchell, who had an amazing combine. Like if they get in good landing spots, especially JJ McCarthy, like if JJ McCarthy's drafted 11 to Minnesota, that 108 goes up in value pretty significantly.
Yeah, it does. I mean, man, it's a lot of pieces in this trade.
It's a
And it's
lot
like,
of
and then like what makes it worse is like the pieces that 7 Go Rings got, they're question marks. Like Watson is kind of a question mark and Bryce a question, but they're worth taking a risk on. I mean, I'm just trying to look at all the assets in their totality instead of like just looking at the 1, the 4, and the 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. I mean, I think overall it's probably even. I see the upside of Goat Rings wanting to get Bryce Young. I think you could potentially be buying low on Bryce Young. You get like you said, the 104, the 106. Those are going to be really, really good players. Plus you get a 2025 first round pick and Christian Watson. There's a lot of young, high potential upside picks in that side and assets in that side of the deal. So I don't think that it's like lopsided by any means. But to me, I just think that 101, Caleb Williams in a super flex league, it's a game changer. It's a game changer at the quarterback position. It's the most important position in Dynasty.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, moving on to the next one. Go Rings again. It says orphan team, 10-team full PPR start 11, no tight end premium. He says he's in a retool, so he's gathering up picks and young players with hopeful upside. Fields was his QB3. He has Dak and Kyler. So he gives up Justin Fields. He gets Bryce Young and a 25 first. Talk to me about this, War, because you are the resident Bears fan.
I think this trade is okay. For what he's trying to do, this trade is fine. I mean, I personally would have gave up Dak first, but I get it.
You would have gave up Dak instead of Justin Fields.
Yes.
Okay.
Based on me thinking that Fields is going to a better situation than what he's in now.
Okay. What situations does Justin Fields have to go to for it to be great for fantasy football?
Atlanta.
Is that the only one?
That's the only one where I could see him taking like a leap in like fantasy production. I mean, it's not like he's chopped liver right now in fantasy production, but if we're talking about him being an even greater fantasy asset, then I think Atlanta has to be the place.
Okay. I mean, we've heard the rumors of him going to Atlanta. We've heard rumors of Pittsburgh. We've heard rumors of, I mean, you said even today there's a chance that Minnesota's in the mix. Like we knew that Minnesota was even in the mix here. So I think that's a situation too where, you know, the assets around Justin Fields, if he goes and he's throwing footballs to Justin Jefferson, it's probably got to be better than what he's doing now.
That's another one. Because I mean, you also have to think about too the field. The field itself, the Bears don't play on the type of field that's like that would lead to like good production on the ground, even though you can produce on the ground, but like it's not like in a dome. Like I feel like fields in a dome is just like scary hours on that one.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, overall, for the trade in itself, I think it's fine. And I do like in a rebuild, getting multiple assets, getting Bryce Young and a future first. It's probably a decent deal and a retool to just get the 2 assets.
Yeah.
So, all right, keeping it pushing. Let's see what we got. We got rookie and the vet. It says 10-team super flex PPR. His other QBs are Love and Purdy. Wide receivers are JJ, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk. Said, I'm the biggest Puka fan, so this trade wasn't easy, but a wide receiver room of JJ, Chase, and Amon-Ra, St. Brown was just too appealing to pass up. The deal is Dak Prescott, Jamar Chase, and the 208 for Jalen Hurts and Puka Nacua. How you feel about this, War?
I mean, he is right. I mean, it would be hard to pass up the opportunity to have JJ
and Chase.
And Chase. That's kind of giving up Hurts. And okay, just take Nacua out because we know Chase is just such a superior player than Puka. I mean, I'm sorry. That's still how I feel about it. So that's a wash. Then we got Dak and 2.8 for Hurts. I would definitely say I would lean Hurts on that. So I mean, really, okay, yeah, I like rookie in the vet side.
Yeah, I think I like his side too. I think the way that I look at it when I'm trying to break it down is like I think of these guys in startup values, and I'm like Justin or Jalen Hurts and Jamar Chase. Those are both guys that you're probably going to draft in the first round of a startup. You're probably going to draft Jalen Hurts a little bit higher than Jamar Chase just because of the quarterback position, but it's probably close enough that like they probably cancel each other out. So to me, it does get to the point where same thought process that you were going in, but it would be Dak Prescott in the 208 for Puka Nacua. And even in that situation, like I think I prefer Dak and the 208 to Puka Nacua. And so both sides of the deal, I think just kind of lean the Jalen Hurts and the Jamar Chase, it just is pretty even to me. And then it leans that other side towards rookie and the vet. I'm just going to take rookie and the vet side of Prescott, Chase, and 208. And he said his other quarterbacks are Jordan Love and somebody else, Jordan Love and Brock Purdy. Yeah. So you have Dak, Purdy, Jordan Love. That's 3 good quarterbacks that you can rely on and stream their matchups every single week. You're probably starting Jordan Love at this point almost every single week. And you're probably even going to start Dak Prescott almost every week.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the trade is bad for either side. I just like rookie and the vet side more.
I agree. All right, 7 goat rings. He says this is not a massive splash, or is it? Looks like a few had the same idea as moving or getting Daniel Jones, but he says it's a 10-team full PPR super flex. He gets the 206. He gives up Daniel Jones.
I like it. I don't like Daniel Jones, so I like it.
Especially with rumors right now of the Giants in Indianapolis at the Combine potentially trying to talk to teams about, can I move up and get a quarterback? Can I move up and potentially draft our quarterback of the future? It's interesting because they gave Daniel Jones a lot of money last offseason. I think that would be very quickly showing your hand of you made a mistake. But I don't know. I think I prefer the 206. And when you look at the context here too, he says he has Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Kirk Cousins, Bryce Young. He's good at quarterback. I think he had a guy that he could throw and get something out of it. That 206 makes sense. And in a 10-man league, it's the 16th guy coming off the board. You're probably looking at a opportunity here to draft maybe an Xavier Worthy, maybe a Troy Franklin, maybe the RB1 in the class, whoever that's going to be, Jonathan Brooks, Blake Corum, whoever you think it is, Trey Benson. It could be any of these guys. And you're probably just trading Daniel Jones for that asset. I don't mind you getting liquid right now. And even then, you don't have to make that draft pick today. You can trade this draft pick later down the road for a different player.
I agree. I 100% agree. I don't have a problem with this deal at all.
Bet. All right, moving down. Goat rings. This one's a big one. 10-team Superflex, full PPR. We got Nico, Drake London, the 208, the 110, the 302. And it gives up Dalton, Kincaid, Jalen, Waddle, Bryce Young, and the 206. There's a lot of big names down there at the bottom half, I think. But
this is the first. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna segue to you and say, but is it enough that you feel comfortable with this trade, or what were you gonna say? How do you feel about it?
I feel like this is the first trade I've seen 7 GOAT rings post that he lost. Because
okay, walk me through that. Walk me through that.
I feel like he gave up the top 2 assets in the trade. Kincaid and Waddle are better assets than Collins and London. And so then we're like 208 and then 110. Like that's like end of the first draft pick. I mean, you can make the argument that you could trade 110 for Bryce Young straight up and it would kind of make sense. And so then it's like you gave up 2-6 for 2-8 and 3-2, which is an even trade. If you look at it like that, 206 for 208 and 302, that's kind of an even trade. Bryce Young for 110, that's a fair trade. Kincaid and Waddle for Collins and London, that's not a fair trade. That's a loss right there.
Okay, yeah, I can see where you're getting at. I can see where you're getting at, and I think he did mention that it's not tight end premium, but even with that being said, it is a tight end premium. Actually, it's 1.75, so it's even bigger premium than your standard. It does sound like he feels like he has some other tight ends. They're like Trey McBride and stuff, but even then, dude, it just feels risky. I think for me, when I look at it, even when I'm just looking at the wide receivers, you got Jalen, Waddle, Nico Collins, Drake London. Of the 3 wide receivers, I prefer Jalen Waddle of all of them. Like he's the one that I want out of those 3.
Yeah.
And then you can go to the same place that you said, where you're looking at Dalton Kincaid versus the other one in a tight end premium where you're getting 1.75 points per reception for the tight end. I think there's an argument that Dalton Kincaid is more valuable than whichever of those other wide receivers it is. And then
he might be just a stud without the premium.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good chance, especially with Gabe Davis as a free agent right now. Like they may not even bring another guy in, or maybe it's a rookie, and the rookie, whatever happens with the rookie, who knows? I think just it's all signs are pointing to Dalton Kincaid potentially being at worst the number 2 receiving option in this offense led by Josh Allen. And in that extra tight end premium, that 1.75, I just prefer it a little bit more. I know he's getting some juice there where he gets Bryce Young and feels like he's getting a third and some stuff like that. He's getting liquid. I get it. But I just think the best players in the deal, just to echo what you said, those are Dalton Kincaid and Jalen Waddle. I think they're the best players in the deal. And quite honestly, like even though the 110 and Bryce Young you said is probably even, I'm taking Bryce Young over the 110 because the quarterback that you could replace him with is going to be what? Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. I'd rather just take Bryce Young than Bo Nix. I don't want to waste my time with Bo Nix if I can just take Bryce Young. So I get it. And maybe he didn't need the quarterback. He wanted to go a different direction. I guess at that point you're looking at like a wide receiver. It is a deep wide receiver class, but even then we know that the quarterback position is more valuable than the wide receiver. And we got Caleb. He says 7 GOAT rings is the most active man I've ever seen. He's in here making trades all day long. But we'll move on to the next one. Overall, you're leaning Burley.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Me too.
Bowtie,
Mr. Bowtie. He says this is not me, just a league trade. It's quarterback, super flex, tight end premium, half PPR on the tight end premium. Looks like Mark Andrews and AJ Brown for the 102 and the 302. Talk to me, War. To me, this is a very easy one side.
I think team 2 won.
AJ Brown and Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy
because I could just eliminate 3-2 right now and just look at it as Andrews and Brown for 102, and I would do that.
Yeah, I think.
And this is coming
from
me who said Mark Andrews is done. I would still do that.
Yeah, well, hell yeah. I mean, if you can give, I think there's an argument that like even though some people are a little bit down on AJ Brown, I think like when you talk about where Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be valued when he comes into the NFL, we talked about it on our last episode, the Q&A that we did. Like, I think we said it's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and then you said at that point you would go Marvin. I said I would go Amon-Ra St. Brown and then Marvin. But then like just after that, do you think AJ Brown is like right there? Like he's probably the first guy up in the next tier down.
He's definitely up there. I think people are just a little bit like prisoner of the moment with him.
Yeah, because he missed a couple games at the end of the season and things like that. Yeah.
Still a young wide receiver though.
So I think there's a real argument that like if this was AJ Brown and a second round pick for the 102, it's probably a fair deal. And then you throw Mark Andrews in the 302 in there. By a mile, I'm taking Mark Andrews. So we don't got to beat it to death. I think to me, it's just whoever is getting AJ Brown and Mark Andrews, give it to me every time. I think that's the easiest side of the deal. I'm taking that side all day long. Anthony says, I'm in here. Let's go. Timothy says, I still think AJ Brown outscores Marv this year. I don't think that's a hot take either, to be honest. I think AJ Brown could outscore Marvin this year. What do you think, War? I mean, it depends on where he lands and things like that.
Yeah, it depends on where he lands. That's pretty much what I was about to say.
So overall, let's take the AJ Brown and Andrew side. I think we got 4 or 5 more in here. So let's just keep it rolling, man. Goat Rings. This turned into the 7 Goat Rings Dynasty trade show. But he said 12 team, 2 QB. So 2 quarterbacks. It's not super flex. It's 2 quarterbacks. You have to start the quarterback in that second spot. PPR. Saquon D's nuts. 001. He's getting Calvin Ridley, Garrett Wilson, the 309, and the 101. Caleb Williams. Let's just say it's Caleb Williams. It is Caleb Williams. 7 Goat Rings gets Josh Allen, a 2025 first and a 2025 second. So this is interesting because what on top of Caleb Williams do you have to give to get Josh Allen?
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
This trade, if you break it down the way I'm breaking it down in my mind, it's a fair trade.
Okay, break it down for us, man. That's what we're here for.
Because depending on where your team is, if someone approached you and was like, hey, now, okay, wait, if we're talking about me, I'm definitely trying to get more. If we're talking about you, you're trying to get more. That's just how we are. But if somebody approached like, okay, here's 101 and Garrett Wilson for Josh Allen. I mean, is that something to snuff? Is that something to sneeze at? I would ask for more. I personally would ask for more, but I think a 25 first and 25 second for Ridley in the third, I think that's fair. So I mean, really, I feel like Saquon these nuts should have asked for a little. Should have asked for more if he was giving up Josh Allen for that. But yeah, 7 goats won, but I can see the logic in the trade. I just feel like Saquon these nuts should have asked for more.
Yeah, I think it gets interesting, honestly, like, because the way that I view it is I'm like, okay, if I had Josh Allen on my team, would I trade Josh Allen away to get Caleb Williams and Garrett Wilson? Probably. I probably would, honestly. I don't know.
You really like Garrett Wilson.
I really like Garrett Wilson, but I also really like Caleb. Like, I think Caleb's going to be that dude. So,
not the way you was talking the other day.
I was stirring the pot. Honestly,
potential future quarterback.
I was stirring the pot. Honestly, you gotta understand sometimes, War, when we got people in our leagues who have the 101 and they get a little bit worried about Caleb Williams and things like that, when stuff like this happens, I like to feed the fire because I want to come in and buy the 101 a little bit cheap.
Oh, okay. That now I get what's going on.
You see, I like to feed the fire. I'll be completely honest. You know the guy who has the 101, he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I was offering him Dak Prescott to go up and get 101 to get Caleb Williams. I'm trying to go in there and make a move. So, Yeah, I'm trying to feed the fire.
Yeah. I'm getting texts and booty call hours talking about some, hey, man, you want one-on-one? Come get your quarterback of the future. And I'm like, sorry, man, teams in foreclosure.
I feel it. But yeah, ultimately, I'm like, I think I would prefer that. But when you look at the other side of the deal, Calvin Ridley, 309 for a first and a second, you take the first and the second. So at the end of the day, like, just give me Josh Allen a first, a second, and you can have the other pieces. So I do think
What are we thinking about Calvin Ridley right now? I mean, I haven't really heard much about him. I feel like he came into the season like with a bang, and it kind of just like petered out.
Honestly, tell me if I'm off by saying this, but like, I don't really see a difference these days in Calvin Ridley and like a Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Hollywood Brown. Like, they're all the same receiver to me at this point.
I feel like that's an appropriate group of receivers to put him with.
Like, I think that's where he's at, and he's a free agent right now, and he's probably not going back to Jacksonville. So like, it's all too many question marks right now to really, give too deep of an analysis of how I feel about him going into the next season. But overall, I think we all know that Calvin Ridley is not the Calvin Ridley of Atlanta. That's not what that is.
Yeah, no.
So, but yeah,
he could be if he went to Kansas City. He could be.
Hell, we'll see, man. But I do like the Josh Allen side. So I see we got goat rings in here. He says, I'm late, but I'm here, and you're here to hear us say that you win this trade, goat rings. So
yeah, I said you lost one earlier, but that's like one out of the 500 that you won. So
I see we got Timothy. He says, I'm playing devil's advocate. He says, with Josh Allen's play style, how does his career play out? He takes a lot of hits. How do you feel about Josh? I'm not worried about his play style. I think his height, weight, he's built to kind of take hits, to be honest.
I mean, if he starts getting beat up, he'll just start playing like Roethlisberger, like not the one like that should have retired like 4 years before he retired, but like the one that was just like getting hit and still throwing like I think he'll just change his play style a little bit. That's all.
And Nate says Falcons get a second if he goes back to Jackson. And yeah, that's why I say I think his time in Jacksonville is done. I couldn't see them re-signing him to a bigger contract extension and giving up a second round pick. Just draft a receiver in the second round and save your money.
That was a part of the deal?
Yeah, it's part of the deal. It's Atlanta got a nice little hookup there.
Yeah, they did.
But anyways, we'll move on to the next one. Go Rings says he says, which one did I lose? I can't remember which one we said he lost, but unfortunately, Go Rings, we ain't going back, man. We ain't going back to talk about the trade. Sorry, bro. I love you, but sorry, bro. We ain't going back. Timothy says, Cam Newton took hits until he couldn't. Just saying. That's fair, but I do think that Cam Newton took more hits than Josh Allen has took so far, to be honest.
Yeah. And Cam Newton didn't have like the arm talent of Josh Allen either.
Go Ring says it's all good. It's all good. So I get it. But Empress of Tomorrow, 12 team, full PPR. Here's where we are. Hopefully, let me try and zoom this in. Let's try and crop these, Empress, moving forward. AZ forever. James Cook and the 110 for Tyler Higbee. DJ Moore, the 402, the 510. That 510 might as well be a goddamn fab. So let's just throw it out the deal. I don't even care about a 510. To be honest, I don't really care too much about a 402. Do you care about it?
Yeah, let's throw that out.
Do you care about Tyler Higbee?
Hell no.
I don't. So throw him out the deal. So what we're looking at here, War, is James Cook and the 110 for DJ Moore.
I'm still leaning the DJ Moore side.
I was just going to say, I think I lean DJ Moore.
I'm still leaning the DJ Moore side.
It's fair, though. It's fair. I don't think it's like lopsided.
I think 1.5 and Cook for DJ Moore would be fair.
Really? You're that far off on? So you must be low on James Cook.
I think James Cook is fine. I think he's fine. I just think DJ Moore is like a stud.
I think he's a stud too.
Yes, that has more to do with DJ Moore than like my Dalton James Cook.
So let me play devil's advocate too. You guys have the number 9 pick in the NFL draft. If you take Odunze there, how do you feel about DJ Moore?
for this upcoming season, I still feel good about him.
But does that change the way you feel about this trade?
I would definitely not trade 1.5 if that trade happened.
So it changes it a little bit for you. I get it. But okay, so here's my thing, man. I think I like James Cook. James Cook looked really good down the stretch. At the end of the day, the 110, I think from the combine, we saw it like everybody looked fucking great. Everybody looked good. And
there'll be a guy there for sure.
There's going to be a guy at 110. And so when you look at this, I think it's a fair deal. My only worry and the reason why I lean DJ more, and this is just hunch, there's no data to back this up, but I just feel like they kind of rode James Cook down the stretch, pause that of course, because they didn't have another guy in that room. I think they were looking for another guy in that room. You saw Latavius Murray taking snaps. They signed Leonard Fournette, trying to see if he could have something. Damian Harris was injured, and he was a guy who was supposed to be a part of that. Like, I think they were looking for another guy. They just didn't have one. Nyheim Hines got hurt at the beginning of the year. I have a feeling they're going to add another running back to this room this year. And not that that's coming in to take snaps away from James Cook and devalue James Cook as the starter, but it's going to be a guy who comes in and probably gets some goal line work, or a guy who's going to come in and at least take a little bit of the carries. And if that happens, I think he's probably an RB2 for your teams and not a low-end RB1.
Yeah, I agree, man. I need to see more from James Cook.
All in all, though, I think the trade is fine. I think it's fair. I just prefer DJ more. And I will say, I don't know if I went too far out. God damn, I'm going way far out. Where was I at before? Like right here? Whatever. And it does say he has CeeDee Lamb, Tank Dell, Jerry Jeudy, Palmer. Running backs look like they're pretty damn weak. He had Stevenson, Hunt, McLaughlin. So more of a need to go get that James Cook.
Yeah. That makes sense. Empress of Tomorrow, go ahead and follow the Crimson Mass Show. I know who the Empress of Tomorrow is. This is Oscar.
Okay. All right. 7 GOAT rings. 10 team. Full PPR. 1.75 tight end premium. He gets George Kittle, Darnell Mooney, 108, 305. He gives up Kirk Cousins, 110, 301. Wars?
7 GOAT rings. You ain't slick, man. You ain't slick. I know what you're doing there. Heard that little rumor about Darnell Mooney in Kansas City. I know that. That's what you're doing. You just did that. This is just in case. Let me get him just in case.
Just in case.
Kirk Cousins. I mean,
here's my thing. 108 is probably. I mean, 108, 110, they're close enough. You can probably cross them out.
Yeah.
305, 301, they're close enough. Let's cross them out. So it's really Kirk Cousins for George Kittle and Darnell Mooney. And I think at this point.
Man, Darnell Mooney. I mean, Kirk Cousins, man. With Kirk Cousins
probably
fans,
even
with Kirk Cousins fans over here. We love Kirk.
I think this is a good deal. Like I don't think anybody runs away with this, to be honest. I think this is a fair deal across the board.
Man, it's just that. And he said that this was a super flex league, right?
Yeah. And it looks like he said this one helps with the trade that you said he lost earlier, because now he gets Kittle to replace Kincaid, who he traded away.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. But I think this is a fair deal. I really don't think that there's a winner here. I think both teams win, in my opinion.
I do too. I'm just always wary when trading away a quarterback.
Especially when you're not getting one back in return.
Yeah.
But
I think he has he's deep at QB, right? He got Hurts Allen. Okay, yeah, he has Hurts Allen. I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Jacob says, is Mooney a free agent? Yes, he is a free agent. So he's going to be able to test.
And there were whispers around the combine that
Kansas City
might
was
have a little
interested.
interest in Mooney. They probably get him on the cheap too. I don't even think it will prevent them from getting a Mike Evans.
Honestly, Kansas City should be interested in anybody who plays wide receiver right now. They should be interested in any of them.
Yeah.
Go Ring says, so with that being said, would you trade the 108 for Fields? Because I can get that right now. Okay, 108 or Justin Fields.
108 for who? Okay. Drew, who would you be targeting at 108?
That for me, that's like, honestly, I think when it's all said and done, I think the 108 is going to be JJ McCarthy in pretty much every draft in Superflex leagues. I think it's just going to be JJ McCarthy at the 108 because I almost guarantee JJ McCarthy is a top 12 pick in the NFL draft. I almost guarantee it. And if that happens, he's a Las Vegas Raider or a Denver Bronco or a Minnesota Viking. And when you get a starting quarterback in a Superflex league, you said what?
Or New York Giant.
A Giant, even he could be a Falcon. Like if the trade with Fields doesn't work out. Like, so to me, do you take Justin Fields or do you take JJ McCarthy? And if you're not looking at JJ McCarthy, you're looking at like Brian Thomas Jr. or even a Adonai Mitchell would be a guy that I'd be looking at there. It's close. It's close. And it's funny because I feel like you would not agree with me, but I think JJ McCarthy and Justin Fields, if you had to make me pick one today, if you have to make me pick one today, I probably lean Justin Fields, but I think it's fucking close, man. Honestly, I'm rising on JJ.
I don't know about that.
No? So you're
as
going
a fantasy,
Fields.
as a fantasy asset, I don't know about that.
Fair enough. Jacob says prove it deal for Mooney. Yep. Go Ring says BTJ or JJ. Yeah, JJ McCarthy. I think honestly, I'd lean Fields, but I wouldn't be making that trade today.
If you could counter, and you're the one trading away Fields, ask for more. Ask for a little bit more, like a high second or something. Get a little bit more.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing that move today. I would honestly, if I was giving the 108 for Justin Fields, I need to see where he lands first. Like I can't trade my 108 away to get Justin Fields until I see where he goes.
I can't trade away Justin Fields for 108 until I see where he goes.
I think that's kind of where we're at. So I think both parties probably just hold where they're at until we see. But yeah, I think it's just tough because Fields is an asset that like his value could swing so high and it could swing so low depending on what happens. Like he's so volatile right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Go Ring says I'd be moving the 108 I got with Kittle and adding Fields to Hurts and Allen in a 10-team super flex. Honestly, I'll be honest. Go if you have Hurts and Allen, I'm not even playing with Justin Fields right now because you probably are never going to start him over those two guys anyways. Not even worried about it. I'm just holding my 108.
Unless you're thinking more in terms of all three of these guys like to run, so one of them could get injured at any given time.
You can trade a second round pick for Baker Mayfield in a 10-team superflex and be fine if there's an injury. But he says thank you. So he says I don't think so either. So all right, we got two more trades in here. And then we'll get on out of here. Let's see. We got 10-team best ball, full PPR, 1.75. So a whole bunch of team context we can go through. It's QBs with Stroud, Average, Stafford. He has the 101, the 102, now the 109. Moving Kyler does hurt, but he needs wide receiver help. Looking to possibly swing Marvin Harrison Jr. Nabers in the top two picks. Can't win them all, but it's fun taking them shots. So doesn't look like it is. This is not a super flex, is what I'm seeing. And Go Rings, can you confirm this is not a super flex league, correct? And what we're looking at is Jameson Williams and the 101 for Kyler Murray and the 107. Where are we at? Go Ring says it is a super flex, by the way. Now with Kyler 1, I wanted to make that splash for the 101, 102. He says 1.75 tight end premium. So super flex league. I'll tell you where I lean, War.
Go
being
ahead.
honest.
You go first this time.
In a super flex league, I want Kyler Murray in the 107.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you
But
do.
what do you think?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, if you really want that top pick and want to draft who you want to draft, I can't get mad at it. I mean, it's not a horrible deal. I could definitely see why you're leaning Kyler. But if he feels like the player that he's getting at 101 is going to be better than Kyler, then
yeah, I think in a bubble, if I have to look at 101, which to me is Caleb Williams, it sounds like he has plans of going Marvin Harrison Jr. and Nabers. So it looks like he's not even looking at a quarterback. He has Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Stafford. So it seems like he's fine. So it seems like he traded the 101, or he traded for the 101, and is not going to take Caleb Williams.
You should pick up another veteran quarterback just in case.
Yeah, it is a best ball league, so that does help it. I do think for me, though, I don't know if you needed to get to the 101 to take Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Nabers. I think you could have went to 103 or 104. I think that's kind of more where you could be. Maybe you can move back, but
maybe true, because there's a lot of people who like are saying they're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. over Caleb.
So here's the thing. Maybe that 102 that he has, maybe when he's on the clock, depending on what the team has, he can move that back. That's another move you can make down the road. But I just think for me, from a value standpoint today, obviously, startup value, Caleb Williams is going over Kyler Murray. I think a lot of people would prefer Caleb Williams to Kyler Murray. But I think where the difference is, and I think this is where you kind of knew where this was going, and maybe Goat Rings doesn't know this about me, but
you love Kyler.
I love Kyler, and I also don't like Jameson Williams. I think Jameson Williams
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, like I really don't like Jameson Williams as an asset. Like he feels like he's close to being a dead asset to me for Dynasty. Like if I had any shares of Jameson Williams, which I don't, but if I did, I wouldn't have them very long. I'd be getting out of all my Jameson Williams shares. And the difference between that and the 107, I'm taking the 107 a billion times over a billion times.
I agree.
So, and Go Ring says, I know I was just trade hungry and made it with my boy. LOL, bailed him out too. Hey, it's all good, man. Sometimes you got to take those shots. Like you said, you get to take Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Nabers. It's cool. But it is what it is. In a best ball league, I get it. Oh, and it sounds like he doesn't like Jameson Williams either. That's what he's saying. He says he doesn't like him, but one spike week, whatever. All right, Kyler over Caleb. I get it. That's an interesting take. What do you think, War? He says Kyler over Caleb.
I was laughing at the picture.
You sent me that. You sent me that exact meme about Xavier Worthy's weight.
That's why I'm laughing at it.
Then he want to set the world on fire.
All right, Anthony, don't say that because my team might be taking Caleb, so I'll be really upset if he's not better than Kyler. So, yeah, I'm just gonna.
Funny enough,
disagree.
Funny enough, I compared Caleb Williams to Kyler Murray in our group chat and on the BDGE Dynasty show. I think they're very similar.
As long as he's a little bit better than Kyler, I'll be happy.
Yeah, nobody's mad if Kyler Murray is your quarterback. Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Do Cardinals fans hate Kyler Murray?
I don't know. I think
I'm sure there's some.
I think two things have led to them kind of souring on him a little bit. The BS of the Call of Duty BS and him getting injured. I think that has soured Kyler in the minds of not only Cardinals fans, but just like fantasy fans, like in general.
Fair enough. Anyways, we got one more trade left. Empress of Tomorrow. Ended up moving back 8 spots to get Kendre Miller as well. Fifths obviously don't mean much. Here's the deal. Oh, God, War. We got 5'11", 508. He said fifths don't mean much. I understand it. A 2026 fifth-round pick. Can we just cross all those out? Like, throw them all out. Every fifth-round pick that's in this deal, throw them away.
So are you saying Kendre Miller and 2.6 for 110?
He's moving back 8 spots to get Kendre Miller. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't like that deal. I don't like Kendre Miller either.
I don't like moving back that much for Kendre Miller either. And it's not. I'm just
I would
being
have definitely
honest.
been trying to get Tajay Spears before I even thought about Kendre Miller.
I just think you could have got a lot more. I don't mind going out and trying to get Kendre Miller. In fact, I made a video about him as a potential guy to buy low right now, just in case Kamara is a cap casualty, or even, as Kamara continues to age, like maybe having Kendre Miller. But you can get a lot more moving back than this. And it's not like this isn't going to like tank your team by any means, but like I feel like you are leaving a lot of value on the table in a deal like this. What do you think, Wars? Like I just feel like that 110 is so much more valuable today than what that 206 and Kendre Miller will be.
I agree. I think, I don't like the deal.
It is what it is.
I like the 110 side on that one.
Sorry, Empress of Tomorrow. This is one of the ones you didn't pass from your boys. You came to school, you got dressed, you got ready. Mom put you on the bus. Everybody was, you did the right things. You didn't pass the test. It's okay. We'll, keep at it. Keep watching the channel, study up. We'll get you on another one. It's fine. You get to retake the test eventually. That's the good thing about
you ain't lose the trade that bad.
You ain't lose it that bad, but you get to retake the test. At the end of the day, I'm just not taking your side today. But let's see what we got. Dylan, what is going on? Everybody had 10 minutes and wanted to stop in. Has the crying emoji. Dylan, is this your trade, Dylan? Wait, you said Empress, right?
No, I know the term, the name.
Oh,
not the actual person.
You don't actually know who it is.
No.
Okay.
No.
It looks like it might be Nate. He says, "Oh, I did. Trust me." So maybe it's Nate Larson. It's all good, man. It's good. Like I said, we all lose them. So Dylan, appreciate you being in here, bro. Really do. If you guys haven't checked out Dylan's content, Dylan does content himself, and I appreciate you, Dylan, because Dylan shouted us out on Twitter, said that the running back free agent video was one of the best pieces of content that he'd been watching in the past couple of weeks. So really appreciate that, Dylan. Takes a lot of time to put the content together, as you know, and to have other people look at it and say, like, this is some of the best shit that I've watched means a fucking lot. I appreciate it a lot. So thank you, Dylan. You guys go check out his stuff too as well. But War, that's it, man. We're out of trades for today. So those were all of the Dynasty Fantasy Football trades that had been made in our Discord in the month of February. We're doing this again in less than 30 days. Once a month, we're coming back. We're doing this again. So if you guys want your Dynasty Fantasy Football trades reviewed on our next episode, and let me fix this whole thing up. If you want them reviewed on the next episode, make sure you go join the Discord. The Discord is linked in the description of this video. That is where you submit the trades. That is what gets them reviewed on the next episode. So make sure you do that for us. Also, if you guys are still in here, I see we got, 9, 10 people in here right now. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. That is the best free way to show our channel some support. It really does help our videos kind of get some extra reach in the algorithm. I know that don't mean too much to nobody, but it means a little bit to us. So do us a favor, help us by hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff, man. We appreciate you. War, tell them where they can find you. You said Empress of Tomorrow. It must be a WWE term. It must be a WWE term.
It is.
So tell them how they can watch some wrestling stuff from you.
If you want to watch some wrestling stuff from me, just go ahead, type in the Crimson Mass Show, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications over there. It's WrestleMania season. We kicking it into high gear. We got AEW coming up too. Let's do it.
Let's get it. All right, man. Well, that is our episode. War. We'll see you next week. Everybody will see us next week. But until then, guys, peace out.